Hey folks, how you going? Got another installment for you. This time I'm well and truly out of Sydney. I'm just off the Hume Highway on the way to Gundagai. Just got a job this weekend and I've just pulled into an area called Bookham. And this is Bookham Cemetery. It's like a historic, maybe a heritage cemetery, I think. I've been here a few times collecting plants for the Botanic Gardens. And this just links to my video, I think, on the blue box. That beautiful tree in Sydney, Eucalyptus boweriana. Well, this is one of the ones I mentioned that you can link to it. This is the beautiful Eucalyptus polyanthemos. This is the red box. A very common tree on the tablelands of New South Wales. They go up to about the Hunter Valley. That's as far north as they get. And then they just go down through the tablelands well into Victoria, at least the eastern half of Victoria. And these are the leaves we're getting. Now, they vary a lot more than that, but that's just what we're getting so far. We just got these big, beautiful trees here. And I've actually collected polyanthemos from here for the Botanic Gardens. Just check out the trunk on this one. This is quite unbelievable. This is what you usually see on the closely related yellow box, Eucalyptus melliodora. Check out that sinuous bark. I'm going to try and capture this. This is just incredible. The way the bark goes up the tree like that in a snake-like pattern, that's what you normally see on something like Eucalyptus melliodora. And that's the yellow box. And look, that'll be around here in its many trees. And sometimes polyanthemos and yellow box melliodora can look a little bit similar. And I think people say they integrate. But that sinuous bark is just so cool. I don't mind giving other YouTubers a plug. I've only found 2 other YouTubers really talking about this tree in detail. But they're in America, in California. It's been a real commonly planted tree over there. In California, one guy says it was used for railway sleepers, and then they found it wasn't much good for railway sleepers. But this one over here, it doesn't have bark anywhere near like that sinuous one back there. It's got more of a sort of, I don't know, like a red gum sort of bark. So the bark can be a bit variable. That's looking a bit more, it's got these sort of decorticating a bit at the moment. It's got sort of these more sort of fibrous box-like chunks over here. Yeah, that's sort of more box-like, what we associate with a box, that finely tessellated stuff there. But I just find on polyanthemos it varies a little bit. You can get a lot of smooth bark, fibrous chunks. I think I remember on PlantNet or New South Wales Flora Online that there's 2 subspecies of polyanthemos, and one's described as having the bark going continuous fibrous bark all the way up, and the other one's described as having a part bark. And I think that's one of the main differences between the 2 subspecies. And I think when you get down to this part of the world, Canberra and sort of Kosciuszko, you get more of the full bark subspecies. With, I think, starts with V. I think it's subspecies Vestita or something like that. I forget the name of it now. Yeah, this one's got more of a smooth bark. And it's a tree about, I guess it's probably about 16 metres. And that one's got the real sinuous bark there, which, again, I strongly associate with melliodora. God, look at it up there. It's just incredible. I don't know if you can see that. Just that sinuous bark there. Incredible. Just so amazing, that tree. Really photographic. Definitely a red box and not a yellow box. The leaves are just too red boxy. Now I've got some material, which I'll try and take you through quickly. Try and keep these videos to under 10 minutes, eh? So I've already liberated all this. It's a nice bluey, yeah, on the video it looks a bit, on my phone, sorry, anyway, it looks a bit blue grey, I guess, but in the naked eye under the sunlight here, it's like a greeny grey. It's like a sort of greeny grey colour in this sort of cloudy sunlight. Anyway, it's a really hot day here today. They're completely concolorous. Remember, the boxes are known mostly for having concolorous leaves like Mollucana and Meliodora. Boweriana, that was concolorous. And look, some leaves are getting really sort of what we call shortly and broadly elliptic. Nicely short and broad. That's how people tell polyanthemos. And again, we go back to Boweriana with a really wide, short leaf shape. But just note that some leaves will eventually, they'll go a bit longer and they'll start getting a bit longer rather than fatter. So there can be a little bit of variation. A couple of leaves here are looking a bit more like Meliodora, like that one there, where that intramarginal vein and that sort of short leaf, more narrow elliptic leaf, I would say. So the leaves can vary a bit. I'm just picking up some different branches that I liberated. Maybe some intermediate foliage there. But that's what we associate with polyanthemos. But sometimes I've collected polyanthemos and I've had to stop and check myself that I'm not collecting Meliodora. I've just had to have a bit of a look. But one of the things that'll help you with polyanthemos, without a doubt, is these incredibly small fruits. I'll start with the fruits, which are just here. And I know you need a bit of, maybe one day I'll chuck a ruler into these videos, but the fruits are tiny. They're really small. I would say these fruits I've got in my hand here, I mean, you can see my finger there. These fruits would be about 3 mil across, I would reckon. 3 mil might be a stretch, but I'm happy to say 3 mil. And they'd be about not even 5 mil wide, I don't think. Sorry, 5 mil long. I'm fighting the flies now. Not even 5 mil long. About 3 mil across, 5 mil long. Polyanthemos is known for having these really tiny fruits. Polyanthemos means many flowers, and it probably just refers to the high number of flowers that are put on in sort of clusters of umbellasters, I would say, or sprays of umbellasters. I think the umbellasters can be 7 to 15. I should have looked that up, but I think 7 to 15. And if I show you the flowers, again, they're about, like if I measure from the outside of the stamens to the other side of the, outside of the stamens, say from anther to anther, we're looking at about 5 or 6 mil, I would think, across that whole top there. They've got a waxy bloom on them, and polyanthemos, it's known for having a bit of a waxy bloom and a waxy bloom on the stems. They get put on in large number. Yeah, they're 5 mil across would be the max, I reckon, across the top. So, but it's your typical box fruit. Remember, they're a bit like a wine glass or a champagne glass. No, the waxy bloom there on the stem. It's got this sort of waxy bloom. You can rub it off. See how I can rub that off there. It's known for having that. So that's probably enough for you. That's a beautiful polyanthemos. New South Wales and Victoria only. A real tableland specimen species, in New South Wales. Over here, there's a second species that'll be worth doing. I'll see if I can add that one in. Alrighty.